Hello everyone, welcome to RCD ShareNet. I'm Ella Wong. Today we continue our series on parenthood and disability. And I'm going to bring to you the story of Rosalie. So Rosalie has two sons. Younger son Andrew was a healthy kid up to age 14. In the year 2000, 14-year-old Andrew went for a short bike ride in the neighborhood of his home. He was hit by a car, a van, and injured seriously as he didn't wear a helmet. He was unconscious when Rosalie found him in the ambulance. He was admitted into the ICU and subsequently diagnosed with concussions and a brain injury. Gradually, Andrew recovered from his injury, but he was not the same young man as before. He became self-isolating, withdrawn, and kept to himself. For instance, he would lock himself in his room for hours. Rosalie was working full-time at that moment, and Andrew's father was working abroad. She assumed that the physical recovery was good and expected her son to heal completely, but was clueless to the subtle changes with Andrew. At least she was not aware of anything seriously wrong. The following year, Andrew started university, and Rosalie thought everything was back to normal. She did observe some oddities in Andrew's behaviors, but associated that with adolescence and didn't pay too much attention to it. The next year, however, Andrew was exhibiting random thoughts and speeches. This worried Rosalie, and she decided to take him to a psychiatrist. The diagnosis was beyond their expectation. Andrew was diagnosed with a medical condition of brain injury with schizophrenia-like symptoms triggered by environmental factor. The condition was getting worse, that Andrew was finally hospitalized and had to quit college. At this point, Rosalie decided to quit her job and stayed home to look after Andrew full-time. She had time to observe Andrew and learned what he was going through. She uncovered relevant information on and off the internet, trying to understand how Andrew was feeling. During the process, Rosalie felt strongly against using medications to control Andrew's symptoms. She reduced Andrew's medications or used alternative medicines. It ended in causing Andrew going through several relapses, and his conditions persisted. It was a dark age for Rosalie until her oldest son warned her that Andrew is a person, not a case study. That was enlightening to Rosalie as she started to look at different practical ways to support Andrew. Firstly, she acknowledged keeping medical recommendations and advices are necessary. Secondly, Rosalie sought community resources to enrich the life of Andrew, including community and educational opportunities. She actively accompanied Andrew to join various interest groups, being his first fan, role model, and initiator for change. This had proven to be the best decision for both Rosalie and Andrew. Andrew is aware that his family cares about him, and the relationship with Rosalie is growing closer through sharing values and widening the scope of communication. Currently, taking courses at a post-secondary educational institution, Andrew is more functional. The entire family has developed plan to support Andrew to be more independent. For instance, daily activity schedules, self-care routines, house chores, in addition to strengthen his interest in music and reading. Andrew now has his own house duties and feels to be a productive member of the family. Andrew still needs support and encouragement to work through his days. He can appreciate the love and care of his family, willing to take initiative to better his health. This is most critical for him pulling through bouts of depression. Rosalie comments that caring for Andrew is a roller coaster experience, assuming the different roles of an indulging parent, a kind friend, a strict instructor, and a competent role model. She is delighted that her husband and oldest son are her strong supports. Together, they are a family with love and blessings. Rosalie says that her goal now is to support Andrew to be more independent. For this, she needs to learn to let go first. She knows that this is difficult, but she hopes to succeed. So now we are very happy to have Rosalie joining us at the studio today in person. And then we have a few questions for her. So hello, Rosalie. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for coming in person and sharing
pleasure.
your story.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, the same here. And then I've known Rosalie for a long time, and then through Andrew's as well. And Andrew has been attending activities at the RCD.
Yes.
And we're glad that you are coming back after the pandemic. I think is pretty much over.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's good.
So for that is, the situation with Andrew is a little bit different from some of our other stories, because a lot of the families we have interviewed, their children born with was born with a disability, but Andrew was born as a healthy child.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
In the very beginning, when you first learned that you were going to be a parent, how did you feel?
Well, I felt excited and looking forward to having a child who is healthy and well. So it's a very good feeling actually.
Oh,
yeah.
So that was quite a shock to you when Andrew was injured.
Oh, it really is a shock. Yeah, because when he was born, he was very healthy. Much healthier than his brother.
Oh,
yeah, really.
Yeah, that is turned out to be quite the opposite.
Yeah,
right?
and something unexpected. Yeah.
Yes. So after the injury, when you care for and support Andrew, what did you need to make any adjustment to provide him with the care and support?
Yeah, I have to. At the beginning, I was not that aware about his problem because after the injury, it seems that he got better, and then he went back to school and things like that. But then, I have to. When he got very serious, I think in year 2002. That was 2002 or 2003. And that was when he was at UBC actually, second year, and he got very sick, and then he was sent to the hospital. And so at that moment, I was aware of the important role I have to play. So eventually I decided to quit my job because at that time I worked in Burnaby, which was quite far away. And my husband was in Hong Kong, and Aaron, his brother, was in Toronto. Studying also. So he's the only one at home. But I think his school is quite close to my home anyway. But then every time when I came back from work, I was a little bit worried because he locked up himself in a room, and he was
So did he have many friends at that moment?
Not that many. Yeah. He got quite close up. And lock up himself, and so I can notice that there are some very strange behavior in him. So
So that was a huge decision for you to quit your job completely.
Yes, completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that is not easy. I think that is the power of love of parents, to do this for their children.
Yeah, because I was totally not aware about this illness, and I was lacking of all the important information, and there was no family member
Mm-hmm.
there to help me out. So I decided to
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's
to quit the
also
job.
an unusual situation, right? You know, like normally people would recover from car accident.
Yeah.
And you know, like that. But the kind of the diagnosis Andrew got was a big surprise for you.
Yes, it's a big surprise because according to the doctor, the psychiatrist, and he explained that there could be some hidden genes, but then if there was no environmental factor, in this case it's a car accident. So because of the environmental factor, that the hidden gene could have been triggered. Causing him some kind of a mental illness with schizophrenia-like symptoms.
Yes. And then I think the diagnosis between, you know, like having the brain injury and the mental health like symptoms is also quite a complication.
Yes.
To handle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And particularly because I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And so the greatest challenge for me at that time is to find the resources. I was learning from zero, really. I knew nothing about mental health, mental illness, schizophrenia, things like, no, I knew nothing about it.
Yes.
And so I was starting, at that time, I started to gather the resources, information, hoping that I can be able to help him.
Yeah. But I remember when you first came to RCD, you came with Andrew.
Yeah.
And you had very good support for him. And so Andrew was, I could feel that he was uncertain, you know, at that moment whether to come or to, you know, like, I think at that time his communication was also lacking.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he is he is poor with communication, particular communication skills with people. Yeah.
But your support to him is very important.
Very
I remember,
important.
you know, like I think if you didn't come along with him to all different activities and other opportunities, he might not show up.
Oh yes, definitely. No, like Andrew's case, right? The problem with him is that he lacks that kind of how should I say it? A drive.
Yes, the motivation.
The motivation
yes.
to find things that are suitable for him, for himself. But then there's another thing which is good about him, that is once I have found something that is good for him and I explain to him, that he would take it.
He
would not say no. He would just take it.
Yes.
Yeah, even though he doesn't have the initiative.
Yes.
To find it for himself.
I think that's the power of love of the family, right?
Yes,
you know,
yes,
he
really.
knows that he can rely on you.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you just mentioned about some of the challenges you experience, you know, supporting Andrew. How about the biggest achievement?
The biggest achievement, I think, is all through the years, I have been getting very close with him, and so that really helps. So the relationship between us is very, very, it's getting closer and closer, and I started seeing the importance of knowing about his feeling, not only emphasizing on his behavior or things like, but understand his feeling. And how to encourage him, because I understand that he was he lacks self-confidence, particularly when his brother is so successful with studies and career, and then I have to keep on explaining to Andrew that everybody is different. You just have to do your part well.
Yes.
With my help and support, and you just don't have to worry. So
Yes.
I think when you ask me about the question, the relationship, right?
Yes.
I think one thing which is very good for both of us is, besides getting so close, I'm able to help him, to encourage him, to build up his confidence.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
that is very
is
important.
really priceless, you know, and very insightful approach as well. Because you just mentioned it is not just about his illness or you know, like taking medication or, you know, doing what. It's you care about how he feels.
Yes, I think that is it. And in the beginning, I was not aware of the importance of knowing about his feeling. But gradually, when I get closer and closer with him, I understand that is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is not easy. I think, you know, like even as parents, a lot of parents, they kind of, if they don't have that kind of relationship with their children, they might not have come to this step.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, right. That's true.
Oh, that is really, you know, lovely to hear that. Okay, and our last question here is, you know, what sort of things really make your day as being a parent, right? You know, I always say, okay, and many parents told me, it's, you know, if their children are happy, they're healthy, then they would make their day. How about something for yourself?
Okay. I have to say that, with time goes by, right? I gradually see that it is important not only to help him with everything, but to train him up.
Okay.
Yeah, to train him up. So that's why we have set up a plan. Actually, last time when my elder son was here, he worked out a plan together with me. It's a daily work plan that
Yes.
Monday you have to do this, Tuesday you do that. It's a work plan.
Yes.
And I'm helping Andrew to click on to get close to this plan. And then another thing is that we take walks around the house every day.
Yes.
And that really is good for him for exercise. And then we have sharing and talk like that. And,
that's lovely.
and yeah, I have to help him with his use of time. Like somehow he has to be enforced.
Yes.
So I have to set a timetable that you have to practice, because he's learning music also. So he has to practice his musical instrument every day.
Okay.
He has to follow the work schedule every day.
Yes.
Like clean his room and things like that. And then another thing is that I encourage him to read the news together. So we watch the news together.
Wow.
I explained to Andrew that you cannot close up yourself. You have to know what is happening.
Yes.
So we sit together and watch the news, and then I will explain something to him, something like that. And I also set up a time for him to read.
Okay. Yes.
I always prepare a book for him. On the table. They have to spend time reading. Yeah.
And together.
So,
Oh.
I was. Sometimes he read it on his own.
Yeah, it's
so,
lovely.
So it's,
Yeah.
so I think having a work schedule, a daily plan for him,
Yes.
that really helps him,
Okay.
and also helps me also.
And during my conversation with Rosalie, what really impressed me most is when she said, she has to let go.
Oh yes.
Right,
Yeah.
like when you said that, I actually thought, that is not easy.
Not easy.
For a parent to say, I have to let go, and for the well-being and the best interest of their children, right? So
Yes,
that
right.
that letting go thing is
It's
even
not
just
easy.
the starting of that, because then you have the thought and you get that into action,
Right.
And so I think that is very insightful, from your part, is knowing, hey, you want to you hope that Andrew will be more independent and
Yes,
train
right.
him.
Yes, exactly. Because when he was very sick, during that time I had done a lot of things for him. But then gradually, when he is improving, and I see that I have to let go, because he has to. Because I'm getting old, right? So I cannot look after him.
Not forever.
No, not forever. No.
Yes.
So and his brother is not around. So even though his brother is thinking of moving back, to
Okay,
help him,
yeah.
but then he has to be independent.
Yes,
So,
that's right.
so yeah, that is very, very important. Yeah.
So we thank Rosalie for coming here today and share with us all the insightful, the experience and the way that they provide support to Andrew, and it is really very a great revolution to to some of the conventional thought of the parenthood, right? Sometimes letting go is quite a new concept. So thank you, Rosalie, and
you're welcome.
we hope it will work out best for Andrew.
Thank you very much.
That's all for today, and thank you for watching.